Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. You guys taking a few minutes out of your day to watch the video. And sitting here trying to recover, or not recover, but deal with this ragweed allergy right now, man. Everybody in the families here have been sniffling and sneezing and eyes watering. So pretty bad around here, Southwest Missouri right now. So anyway, today we're going to have a conversation and a discussion on luck, talking about luck. And the reason I wanted to do this is I hear it all the time. It's just like the topic of luck comes up so much in fishing in general. And I think it's a topic worth discussing because I think a lot of people just, they talk about it in a really broad context without actually going into it. And if luck indeed does play that much in fishing, then that's something that we need to be talking about and seeing if that's something that we can control a little bit. So have a discussion about that. But just real quick, want to remind everybody, if you guys hadn't had a chance, go out and check out fishthemoment.com. Got our fall lake map breakdowns out there now. Got a full slot of lake breakdowns all across the country, personal map breakdowns, and also check out our bass camp that Johnny and I are going to be conducting on November 6th here in Springfield, Missouri. Okay, let's talk about this luck a little bit. So ever since I've been fishing, I hear that luck's a big part in fishing. And if you guys talk to many people that don't fish that much, like people that don't really know much about fishing, they attribute everything to luck. That's like if you catch fish, they say, well, you were really lucky today. And if you didn't catch fish, well, you didn't have very good luck today, or didn't have very good luck. And, for a lot of years, for a lot of years, I didn't think much about it. I sort of just went along the same lines until I really got into professional fishing and started seeing how events unfold and how, tournaments, either good or bad, take place. And I've got a few theories on luck I'm going to share with you guys, and I'd be curious to hear everybody's opinion because ultimately, when you're talking about luck, it's one of those abstract topics that nobody has a definitive answer. It's like a lot of other mysteries of life. You can have an opinion on it, and that opinion, the only way that you can really justify that opinion in a real, tangible way is by having reproducible results on something. If you don't have reproducible results, there's no way that you can go beyond just the fact of having a random opinion. So anyway, I've analyzed it before as far as, certain anglers out there always seem to have luck on their side. And there's some anglers out there that are just always what seems to be unlucky, and some anglers go back and forth. And one of the things I started noticing there were some anglers that I knew in professional fishing that always wound up on the good side of the cut. Say, for example, if they paid 50 places in the tournament, there would be a group of anglers that always finished 48th or 49th. Or if they cut the field down to the top 10, these same guys would finish 9th or 10th. Just with unbelievable consistency, they did that. And on the other hand, there were some anglers out there that always were on the other side of the cut. Like if they paid 50 places, they would be 51st or 52nd. And that sort of goes back to me. I was fishing one of the FLW seasons back in the early 2000s, and they paid $10,000 to 50th place. And I finished 51st place in 3 tournaments in a row, which was zero money. And every one of those tournaments, I missed the top 50 by less than 3 ounces. So, I know what it's like to be on that other side of the bubble. I've been on both sides. I'm sort of one of those anglers that has, been on the other side of the cut, been on either side of the cut, both sides. But anyway, there's some anglers out there that are just always on the other side of the cut. Or if it comes to qualifying for the Bassmaster Classic or something, they would be the next guy out or the first guy in, that type of a thing. And so I started thinking about this a little bit, and it's like, what is that? I mean, when you have somebody out there that over a course of decades of fishing, that they always wind up on the right side of the cut. And then there's other anglers out there that are always on the downside of the cut. And then and there's some anglers out there that are sort of in between. What is the reason for that? What causes that to manifest like that? So the thing that I got thinking about that is the first way that you have to really determine this or think about it is it's your context of your belief system. Because if you're one of those anglers that is if you have a religious background, you're going to attribute everything as, God's will. Either way it goes, and you accept it for that. If you're somebody that's more secular and, does not come from a religious background, you may not really know exactly how to feel about that, other than the fact that it's like some random mystery of the universe, or some type of something that we just don't have any control over, that we don't understand, and you sort of accept that as that reality, and you live with that. And from my own personal experiences with that, I have found that when you're talking about luck, it is something that it's indefinable. It's in my opinion, it's indefinable. It's easy to try to, put it in a little box and try to label it as being such or that, but ultimately, nobody knows what causes that. I mean, is it some type of is the universe rewarding you or punishing you for certain things, or is it something that you have? Sort of the fact that you create your own reality from your expectations, because I know that's one of the things that I've seen in my own fishing, is that we, and in life in general, is that we create a lot of our life situations based upon our thoughts. If you tend to, constantly focus on the positive, you draw that into your life more. If you always are focusing on the negative, you tend to draw those experiences in your life. And I've seen this in luck as well. And one of the things that I can relate to that I can give you concrete results about is that, without a doubt, if you look at anglers that get on a roll, they usually maintain that roll or that slump for a period of time. Say, for example, somebody wins a tournament or finishes high in a tournament. Almost every single time, almost without exception, guys, over the course of the next 3 or 4 tournaments, they have a good tournament. And just the opposite, I've seen tournaments out there where guys, something happened unexpected and they finished almost dead last in the tournament, and it would spiral them in some type of a downward slump. They lose their confidence, and that manifests from the next tournament. So what is that? What causes that? If you have a good tournament and you're confident, what is it about that confidence that manifests a good tournament as a result of that confidence? Or if you don't have confidence and you lack confidence in your ability to catch fish, what is the power behind that manifests those poor tournaments? And then that goes straight into luck, as far as good luck or bad luck. So from my perspective, this is sort of what I think about that. I sort of think this whole topic of luck is sort of a neutral energy out there. And yeah, I'm getting off into a realm where we should be sitting on the beach with drinking margaritas talking about this subject, but I'll keep it as basic as I can. I have seen in my own fishing, and this is something that I've been able to reproduce over fishing professionally for over 35 years, is that when we focus on the positive stuff and we focus on creating the events that we want to create, and we do this on a consistent basis, yeah, you may have some occasional bad tournaments and that type of stuff, but eventually you're going to have more good tournaments than not. And then other tournaments out there, if you're one of those guys that just expect something to go wrong, if you expect the weather to change and your fish to move, or if you expect your boat to break down, I've seen that happen as a result as well. So I think that we have a lot of control over that based upon the way we think. And that gets into a whole nother topic when you're talking about some of the abilities we have within the human experience, and that gets off into another realm that is just like a true mystery of the universe. And I think ultimately that's what it is. I mean, luck to me is something that is just, it's an undefinable mystery. We don't know what it is. A lot of people that don't want to take the time to delve into what luck is, they try to define it, and they try to label it as something just so they don't have to think about it. But I think about these things all the time because, you know, I see it all the time in my fishing. So it's an interesting concept. I mean, it goes, like I said, a lot of it, to me, it goes into the deepest mysteries of the universe. And those mysteries, like I said, they can go off in a religious, spiritual context, or they can go off into more, you know, of a secular, you know, experience. It just depends on what your background is. But nobody is immune to it out there. We all have, you know, we all have experiences in fishing, if you do it long enough, that come across as being really lucky or come across as being unlucky. And for example, timing. Let's take a timing example. It's like fishing is all about timing. And let me throw one scenario out there to sort of give you something to think about throughout the course of the day coming up. Let's say, for example, it's the last day of a tournament, and you're real close to leading the tournament. You know, you got like an hour left to fish or something like that. And you pull up to this boat dock with you know, your last, say you're down to your last 10 minutes, your 15 minutes or whatever. And you pull up to this boat dock and you pitch a jig out to the corner of that boat dock where there's a little bit of shade there, and you catch a 7-pounder and win the tournament. Okay, you caught that 7-pounder at exactly that time and place. And in order for you to be at that dock at that time and place, certain events had to unfold during the day. And say, for example, if you knew that you wanted to hit this dock at the end of the day, and you were running down the lake, and say there was 3-footers out there, and those 3-footers made you slow down to 40 miles an hour, and it took you 10 minutes longer to get to that dock, and then you pulled up there and caught that fish. What if it had been completely calm out and you could run 70 miles an hour and you got to that dock 10 minutes earlier? Would that 7-pounder still be there? Would the angle of the shade been at that exact time for that fish to position right on the corner of that dock? No, it wouldn't have been the same thing. It would have been something different. So, you know, that's one factor like that. Events have to unfold throughout the course of a day for things to happen in a certain way. And if one thing goes different, you know, it doesn't matter if you had to slow down for a flock of coots, or if you got a a big backlash in your reel and it took you 5 minutes to pick it out, and it caused you to, you know, it caused you to make a cast 5 minutes later than you normally would have. There's an infinite number of events that could take place that could change the course of that event, and throw that whole conversation of luck into one direction or another. So anyway, it's just an interesting concept, a little bit of an interesting topic to think about here. I think about this stuff a lot. I'm thinking about, one of the days, I'm sort of going to get everybody's opinion. I'm thinking about possibly coming up with a different channel, a second channel, YouTube channel, to focus specifically on this type of stuff, the non-technique oriented, the more abstract mental part of fishing. And maybe one day we'll do that if we get enough interest in it. So anyway, that's today's topic, talking about luck. Again, to reiterate, my opinion on the thing is that we create our own luck from our viewpoint and our thoughts, and how much energy we put into those thoughts. Everybody else has a different viewpoint. Shoot me some comments. Let me know what yours are. I'd be curious to know. So anyway, thanks guys for tuning into the channel. Much appreciated. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't, and we'll see you all next time. So
bye.
See ya. Elliot says bye. See ya.
Bye.